Okay, welcome to this next segment of this week's Coaches Show, and our guest for this segment is head football coach Mike Kellar. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Tell you what, we were talking last week about the perennial conference champion Notre Dame squad coming to town, and Pioneers pulled off the victory. It was a historic Saturday here in the Ville. What's your takeaways from that win?
No, it was a good day all around. I mean, started that morning, team breakfast, walk through. I get on the bus to ride over, and Dr. Manchin and Mr. Morris are on the bus with us. And I told them, I said, I guess since you guys bought the bus, then you get a ride up front, And they talked to the team a little bit, and got there, and the band was there waiting on us, and good little crowd, a lot of alumni and friends and people tailgating. Coming here, had, I think close to 30 recruits, 25, I believe it was, and got to talk to them and their families, then go over, and the kids showed up and competed and played the way we expect them to, and came away with a victory.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we had...
Those are all our fans right there.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
It was, really was a nice atmosphere. I was worried about a half hour before. It was noon start. It was kind of a late arriving crowd, but it filled up pretty quickly. And, it was some good noise in the stadium.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. It was good for our kids. We struggled a little bit at times as you're going to against good football teams, and then we held on late. But I thought the atmosphere and being at home, and I told our team, during the week, I said, listen, Notre Dame isn't going to want to come down that road. They're going to be disinterested. Let's show up and let's give them the team that they don't expect to see. And a team that I know that we are. But I don't think the world knows that we are yet. And we were able to do it. We're still far from perfect. There's a lot that we need to work on. We have too many laws in the game in which we don't really execute at a high level. And I think we look at the scoreboard a little bit and get nervous. And I tell them all the time, like, that's fans and their jobs. Your job's just play. Let's just play. Let's just block and tackle and pitch and catch and do the things that we need to do to execute and go win ball games.
Well, dodged some adversity early, and I know there was 3 turnovers in the first 7 minutes, but you were able to dodge every single one of those bullets and actually come back down and put a touchdown on the board there at the end of the first quarter. Just talk about the way the team responded there at that point.
Well, Anthony's a great player for us, and I think, what was it, like his 8th or 9th start maybe since he'd been here?
Yeah.
Last year's Notre Dame game, I think he felt like he didn't play well, which he did throw a couple bad, picks in that game a year ago, and I think he came in this game thinking he had to be perfect. And, truthfully, the first interception, we didn't block it up right. Ball gets tipped. He threw the ball pretty much where I wanted him to throw it. A little bit of bad luck. But our guys hustled and made a great play when their kid pitched it, and Tariq Miller recovered the fumble, and that gave us new life. His next pick was one where we were just throwing it deep, hoping anything happened. That don't bother us at all. And then the third one was a bad read. But every time our defense, shut them down and responded and allowed us to find our bearings a little bit. And then we made a really nice drive. I believe it was at the end of the first quarter. And we came in a big grouping, and we called a play action, and David Livingston came across the back of the end zone, caught a touchdown, 7-0 us. And we feel like we haven't played well. We're up 7-0. So that was a good sign of things to come. And then obviously
little explosion in the second quarter.
Yeah, a little explosion in the second quarter. We ended up scoring, 17 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
If I remember right, we got a touchdown. Tank Gann again.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. I told you he did it on his highlight tape. And, Diaz comes in and hits the kid and causes a fumble, and the ball goes up, and Tank's, he's Johnny on the spot as usual, and picks it up and runs it in, and then we go down. And I thought Notre Dame was really having a hard time with our tempo in some of the things we were doing. Yeah. We were doing a lot of movements. I kind of, Notre Dame's a very much a blitz bluff team. I mean, that is their game. They're going 7-man pressure, and the analogy I used that the team didn't get it all, but you and I will understand. As I said, I told them in the team meeting, I said they're like 5 slam a jam, man. If they dunk it, they get going. If they shoot 2 free throws, they don't get going. I give them the old Jim Valvano, foul them, put them at the line.
Yeah.
So let's handle their blitz. And we did not make plays against the blitz. We got 2 or 3 PIs that helped us, but we didn't make the plays that I'd hoped we made. But their blitz didn't hurt us. Our guys did a good job. The audibles were real good. But we worked on it so much that I thought we missed some of our normal execution that we normally have. But anyway, long story short, we go down with the tempo and score a touchdown, and then the big play was, we get the pick right before the half, and go down and get the field goal before the half, and so it's weird how the game is, man. They're supposed to have the best kicker in the league, and we made ours, and they missed theirs, and we win the ball game.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, at the end of each half, and we got a second opportunity, and they didn't get one. So
that's right.
And I know you preach that stuff about those little things like that, and there it came into play.
Sure, and we practice it all the time. We practice those scenarios all the time, and I imagine everyone does. We practice it, we preach it, we go over it, but it's good to see your team, buy in it to pay off, because now when we're practicing it, they're not sitting there in practice thinking it's just period, whatever. They're thinking, hey, this applies directly to the outcome of football games.
And, if you just look at the box score, and it looks like that they made a comeback and came down and had a chance to tie it at the end. Mm-hmm. But there was a couple of key defensive stops in that fourth quarter where they had the ball with a lot of time left.
Oh, they cut it. And I told the team at halftime, I said, no one expects you guys to win, but I do. I told them that before the game. At halftime, I said, everyone here is shocked, but I'm not. I'm not. This is the way I expect us to play. This is the team I think we have. I said, but in respect to Notre Dame, if you think they won those 5 conference championships in a row by just laying down, you're sorely mistaken. They're going to come. They're going to come. And I swear to you, we laugh about this, but every time we knock a quarterback out, that second team quarterback comes in, and he's like he's Tom Brady. It's like
he came in dealing.
Yeah, he came in. And number 7, he threw 2 duck balls to start the third quarter, and I thought, these guys ain't going to score on us today. And then he gets hit, and we have a terrible penalty against Jonathan Brown where this helmet pops up, and they call it a personal foul. And, it is what it is. I think it's a bad rule. They officiated it the right way. But anyway, that gave him life, and I was worried about that. And then they end up having like a 14-play drive and scoring, and then they come back. But you're exactly right. We're up 3, and we're not doing anything on offense, and our defense bowed up 2 big stops in a row and made them punt so we could take some clock, and get the stop at the end of the game. So kudos to our defense, our players. I will say this: the sideline was great. They never panicked. They just stayed within doing their assignments and trusting the coaching and trusting their abilities. And that's something we preach. But I've preached it a lot of times, and it didn't work out like that. So this is a veteran team and a good team that understands. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I'm not going to call out the young man's name without use his name without permission. But a member of our basketball team here went to high school with that quarterback that came in. He told me, he said, I got a good buddy there. He's not their starter, but if he gets in, I'm telling you, he can deal. He wasn't lying. I said that to him last night. I said, you weren't lying.
I talked to one of my buddies in the league who they play him this week, and he said, I said, man, it just, I don't know if 7 was just off or what it was, but when they brought 16 in, he threw 2 incompletions in a row. And then on the third and 12, he throws a comeback that, you couldn't throw it any better. And then he started hitting pass after pass after pass, and I thought, oh God, here we go. So we held on, but we got we're a good team. We got good pass rush, we got good DBs, and it was a matter of time, before we settled in and got the tempo of how he played, and when they needed it most, they weren't able to make the plays. Our defense made the plays.
Yeah, and all the athletes you have, on that side, we talked about how you play 8 linebackers essentially. About being able to get the pressure that you've talked about, how that came into play.
Sure. Well, back in my days as the head coach at Concord, we felt if we played up tempo, we could wear teams out, and we wanted to be in greater shape than everyone else. But when I went back to Cal, we had better players than everybody, and I thought, well, if we play a lot of people, with the tempo we play at, we could really wear opponents out. Well, the year at West Liberty, watching them practice basketball every day, and then being here, our girls basketball, West Liberty men's girls basketball, I seen a lot of players who, you wouldn't label them your A-plus player, but you got a lot of production out of them because they were fresh. And, then we just kind of bought into that, as an organization, so we feel like we got 22 starters on both sides. We got the blue starters and the silver starters, and we just change our groupings a lot, so we'll call a grouping out and give it a blue or silver code, and we play a lot of people. And you saw Seth Arnold was the defensive player of the week, not only on our team, in
the league,
but in the league, and Isaiah Mack was co-defensive player of the week on our team, him and Seth. And at the end of the game, Seth full body cramps, and he only played, maybe 60% of the plays. I can imagine if he had to play the other 40, he wouldn't be able to make it. Yeah. So those guys are rotating in just as much as anybody. It's a kudos to them that they don't have the selfishness that I got to play every play. It's kudos to all the players that and guys are role players. Certain guys are cover linebackers, certain guys are blitz guys, certain guys, so if you give a guy, you say, this is your role, this is what you do, this is what we expect of you, and then they could go in and they can make those plays.
No. Well, I know it's a win to be celebrated, and you're 2-0, but a big task awaits down at West Virginia State.
Sure, huge test. I mean, West Virginia State on homecoming, it's a 6:00 game. I mean, they moved at that time for a reason. I mean, I'm sure they got big plans. I'm betting dollars to donuts that they're getting fireworks all ready for, the game. And every time they score, they're going to turn the lights out and fireworks are going to go everywhere. I mean, it's going to be one of those atmospheres. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. It's about blocking and tackling and catching and throwing, and our kids got to go down there and execute ball plays and not get caught up in all that stuff. And it's real easy. I told them in the Monday meeting, I said, how many guys told you how great you were this week? And I know I'm the smartest guy in the world this week, and if that kid makes that field goal at the end, I'm the dumbest guy in the world. So it's just, let's not get caught up into that. We were 1-0 last week. Let's do everything we can to be 1-0 this week, and it starts with our preparation, and right now, I mean, we had a good Monday night practice. We had a good Tuesday. We got a little case of a virus going around within the team, but what team in late September or October doesn't get some of that? So we just got to handle the adversity and we got to play ball. That's all it is. I mean, there's nothing. It's not really a hard formula. It's hard to do, but it's not hard to figure out.
Yeah. Well, that we were down there last week for a soccer match down there, and they. The renovations of that stadium's been really nice. And I grew up in Kanawha County, so I have an understanding of what homecoming means to that institution.
Sure.
So you're spot on. I really believe it's going to be popping, and we need to.
When I was at Concord, we had one of our coaches had a saying. He used to say, "Never play state on homecoming."
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. I mean, I've played there a few times on homecoming. It is a really good atmosphere. The people get after it. The tailgating, the food will smell great. I mean, there's going to be, but you know what? I mean, it's what we sign up for. We want to play in these atmospheres. We want to play good opponents, and they got a really good team. Excellent quarterback. I swear he's been there 100 years. The tailback's phenomenal. I mean, they're well coached. Their defense is very multiple. You could see that Coach Shell and the defensive staff. You could see their coaching all over it. It's a very smart, very, very orchestrated group, and they play super hard. Coach Pennington, I've known him forever. I know what kind of player he was. I know what kind of coach he is. He's going to have them sky high. They're a well-run organization. It is what it should be. We're going to have to go down there, and I like our team. I like the way we're ran. We're going to have to go down there, and we're going to have to play well to win the ball game, and that's our only goal is just to come away 1-0 again this week. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun. And again, as Coach noted, everyone out there, make note of that special kickoff time. Is going to be 6 p.m. on Saturday night down there on the river, down in Institute, West Virginia. A couple of the better teams in the league. So, Coach, really appreciate you coming by to join us. Any closing thoughts for us?
It should be a fun evening. We're going to have to continue to practice well. We're going to have to travel well. We're going to have to be focused and State's a very formidable opponent. You beat Notre Dame last week, but that doesn't mean anything on this week. And State's as good a team as there's probably, I don't know, a handful, 5, 6, 7 teams that are about the same team.
Very good. Yeah.
And so every week, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same song and dance. You got to tee it up and play a certain level of football to win the ball games. Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, really appreciate you coming in and joining us here this morning, and looking forward to the game downstate.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.